I'm gonna cry.
That's funny.
They've
So
just opened the borders.
we are live. We are live. We are live. Yay us. So yay, we made it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for these incredible souls. Oh my goodness. So we were just kind of vibing and chatting before coming on. And these ladies, I call them the new VIPs. So I just want to share that I feel so honored and so blessed that they all are taking time to be able to share the goodness of VIP and what they enjoy about VIP, and also just their own spiritual journeys. I know each and every one of you, like on a different level. I feel like I just know parts of your stories, and I know parts of your journeys and that type of thing. And I just feel so blessed. Like my eyes are like starting to tear up because I just feel so blessed. One, that our paths have crossed, and two, that you all are stepping in. Like you are completely aligning and do your best to align to be able to learn your spiritual gifts. And I just feel like too, I mean, spirituality sometimes can be a very confusing thing, right? Just confusing. And also different things that you may be experiencing may be confusing. Why are you seeing your triple numbers? Why are you seeing, various spirit signs? I mean, it can just be confusing. So, so glad to have you all here. And I feel like there's kind of a reason why each of you is in VIP. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go around and share who we are. You can share where you're from. And I would say let's start with what drew you to VIP first. And then keep rolling if you want to share what you like about VIP. Okay. So I'll go first. What drew me to VIP? Let's see here. Well, it's really interesting because I did start going online. I think it was about 5 years ago, and I had started Heighten Your Spiritual Connection. I think it's about 5 years ago. I think we're going on 5 years. And so with that, I felt like it was great to have this spiritual hub, but I wanted to teach people. I wanted to teach them these different courses and whatnot. And so I know that in Heighten Your Spiritual Connection, you'll see those posts of like, what is your aura, or are you an empath, or what is your clair, and that kind of thing. And I felt like, why not teach people what their clairs are, or what clairs they're using more? Why not teach people about the auras, old souls, star children? And so that's where VIP was kind of constructed. And it started out, I think there was 7 people, and I had a launch around my birthday, and I think 15 came in, and that was really cool. And now today we are at 102. We're at 102 VIPs. Isn't that amazing? Like started with 7, now we're at 102. So pretty amazing stuff. So that's kind of what drew me to VIP. I feel like for me, I'm going to start crying. What I absolutely love and enjoy is meeting each and every one of you and hearing about your journey and hearing what you've been through to get here, and really witnessing the hard work it takes to be able to learn your gifts, to be able to kind of gobble up all that knowledge and to be able to orchestrate it. And I feel like each of you are at a different spot, or a very like unique from each other, of how you're orchestrating your gifts, how you're utilizing your gifts, etc. So that's probably one of my favorite things, is to be able to see you all just stepping in. It's really cool. So I'll let you all know. I don't know if you can tell what the order is for the Zoom, but we'll just go in order. So I have Danielle, and then Mindy, and then I have Jeffy and Kim and Joe. So Danielle, do you want to start us out?
Yeah. So let's see. So what brought me to VIP, right? That's what we're starting with.
Mm-hmm.
I have cats all over the place here, so don't mind me with that. We're, yeah, I know. So
I know.
I had been very much already on my, my spiritual journey, had the waking up moments and things already happening. But I am a massage therapist by trade. And there was something telling me for Reiki. It was calling me. I had had an experience with Reiki, and I was kind of like, what the F? Because I wasn't ready for it. So it didn't connect to me at all, but it kept kind of nagging. So I thought, well, as they say, when the student's ready, the teacher will find them, right? So I had these clients in Oregon that I was heading out to, and I had probably an hour and a half to kill. And I thought, well, I'll just go stop in Peaceful Heart and I'll browse around. And so I did. And I'm, obviously spending more than I should. And the ladies working there were like, well, our psychic medium has one opening left. Do you want to take it? And it was like right as I was checking out with my things. And I'm just like, well, does she teach Reiki? And they said, yes, she does. And I was like, I'll take it.
That's
So
amazing.
that was the day I met Heather. And that was like, I believe it was in like August of 2020. And I had already been here for, just over 3 years. So it took about that long for me to get my act together. And then right after I had met Heather, she had confirmed everything I was on path to doing. And from there, quit my job, started my business, took Reiki 1 and 2 before the end of 2020, then took master in 20 master and teacher in 2021, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yep.
2021. So I rolled right through all of those courses, and I believe it was August of 2021 that I finally got into VIP, because, starting a business during a pandemic is real hard on the wallet. So even that, like, not much of a cost for VIP, I was like, well, just literally can't swing it yet. So, that would put me in here. And, looking back at those dates, because of course I had to look back and find the dates so I could be accurate. And I was like, my God, I feel like I have been in VIP and have known Heather for just infinite years, and it's been not even 2 years. So,
Funny. Yep.
the amount of growth and joy and healing that these experiences have brought to me, even just in this short amount of time, is probably more than the amount that I have accumulated up until that point collectively. So,
Wow.
I'm at this point just like steamrolling forward, and, we'll see
Absolutely.
how that goes. So
I love that you say that, Danielle, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, haven't we known each other for a lot longer than that? I was thinking the same thing. And it's really, I love that you bring that story of how we met, because I remember that too. And it was like, there was just like this click and zing. You're like, there was one spot left. And I'm like, wow. And I don't know. I mean, I remember that session because it was just like lit. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
There's so much information coming forward, and amazing that then you step forward and
yeah.
have your own business now, and pretty
You were
amazing.
like, don't move back east. Your grandma says don't go anywhere. And, like, you're going to be so busy, you're not even going to be able to breathe. And literally, you just confirmed that I already knew I was going to quit my job. I mean, it was just a matter of timing, but you confirmed to me that the timing was so much more ahead of schedule than I was expecting. I was thinking like a couple of years from now, I'll be able to finally get on my own. And you were like, no, like you're already late almost, and I was like, okay. And literally I was working 2 full-time jobs for years, and was like, okay, we're transitioning. And I didn't even make it to the end of 2020 before I had given my notice. I was like, I'm busy and I don't need to be here anymore. So bye.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Danielle. I love that. I don't know if anybody else has like kind of the chills, or I just had like the roller coaster belly. I was like, go girl, like you're definitely on track. You're definitely doing it. And that's awesome. What can I say? I love that, Danielle, and thanks for sharing. And this may be just a good way of kind of going about it. Like, let's just do like what drew you to VIP first, like kind of your own journey, and then maybe as a collective, we can talk about what we all like. Just kind of start bouncing around like that. But I'd love to hear from Mindy. What drew you to VIP? Hi.
Hi, Mindy, and I live in Evansville, Wisconsin, near Heather, about 20 minutes. And
Mhm.
I guess, well, I met Heather in August for a reading. Um, no idea what was going to happen. I didn't say anything about and I just said, whatever you feel. And she was like, oh my God, you are like, like just going crazy or what, and I had just been swimming and all the spiritual like podcasts and books and whatever. But, I got the text, I think, about joining, and I just remember being like, well, that's not me. Like, I'm not at that point, and that, I'm not really that spiritual yet, and, doubting, of course. And then I just kind of sat with it for, I don't know, probably 3 to 4 months, maybe. I can't even remember if Reiki 1 was before I joined or after, but maybe right around the same time. But it was just one of those things where I just sat with it and just was like, I'll know when the time is to join. And I joined, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like, it would just, things just kept unfolding and unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. And just being in this collective group of like-minded people, because when you're going through this journey, it's scary, it's sad, it's happy, it's lonely, it's, all of these things. And so it was just such a calling, I guess, that I just listened to my intuition. And it was just such a comfort, I think, being in the group. And I do remember being like, oh, I shouldn't post again. Oh, I remember I texted Heather, I'm like, I don't want to post again. I think I just posted. And she's like, no, this is what this is for. And so then I was like, oh, okay. God, people are going to think, why is she posting again? It's like, now, I don't think about it anymore, but just coming in new, I just remember being hesitant about that. And it's like, no, this is what this is for. Like, now I feel that so deeply, like, post, ask, um, it's just it's a family. I feel like I've connected with some personally now, but I feel like I know, well, not all 102, but you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like it's so comforting, I guess. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. I was just kind of smiling because like you took off, like you joined VIP, and I was just like, there she goes. And it was so cool, Mindy, because I almost feel like, what was like you said, you were swimming in books and podcasts and that kind of thing. And then it was almost like that was the next step where then you were able to just, whoa, I'm experiencing all this stuff, and express yourself and bring it forward and that type of thing. And it's so cool to watch your path, Mindy. Mindy just got done with Reiki too. And man, you're just taking off. Like, it's amazing to see, like, you put a post on Facebook and now she's got all these Reiki clients, and it's just like, this is what happens. And I think I shared too before we came on, I was like, all of you came to mind because you just took off. And I love that. And I just feel like you did it, Mindy. Like, I hope you can feel that. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mic drop.
Don't make me cry.
I know, it's kind of probing. Do you feel it?
I
Keep
agree.
going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeffy's next.
Hi, I'm Jennifer McBride, or Jeffy. Jeffy works so good. That just is more of my true essence I got to watch today, so that's super cool. So what drew me to VIP? I have different spiritual practices that I've been doing. I've traveled to other countries doing spiritual practices. But in doing this, and having, it bringing your awakening forth, these gifts started to come in, spiritual gifts, and I didn't really know what to do with them. I didn't have clarity on what to do with them. So anyway, I knew Heather, because I live in Idaho, and Heather used to live in my mom's hometown where I was born and raised. And on Facebook, she kept coming through on the Heighten Your Spiritual Connection. And I pendled and thought, Heather could be a really good teacher. And I thought, wouldn't that be awesome? Because I know her, I thought I was going to have to travel somewhere to find a spiritual teacher. So it was so super sweet. And when I got into this energy and the VIP group, I mean, it it was like trying on a new pair of shoes. It was so cool because I got to be me. I felt like I belonged. Um, because there was so much like-minded energy with everybody. I mean, clear from if a swear word comes out of your mouth, oh well, it did, and it didn't make you wrong, bad, nothing. It just was a happening, and you didn't have to filter. I don't have to filter myself in the VIP group, and that's so sweet because then, you know, that's probably one of my biggest practices is practicing who I really am, you know, and not who culture, society deemed me to be. So that's what drew me are these gifts, and Heather's phenomenal about it. I love the courses. I can do them at my leisure. I love coming on the weekly calls. They're great. I love meeting new like-minded people, and very enjoyable. My heart just is like big, expanded. So thank you so
I
much.
love it. Yeah, Jeffy, thank you. I kind of tearing up just because we've known each other
Me
for a
too.
while. And yeah, and it, you know, it's so interesting too, because it as you bring this forward, it's almost like sometimes we feel like we do need to travel or seek, or you know, there's something out there, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like falls in front of us, you know. And I feel like spirit can be that way, the universe can be that way, where it's just like, here you go, this is what you do next, you know. So I think that's really awesome, and I really enjoyed having you, and it's neat too, because I see like you're another, you know, another one that just picked you all because you're just like grab it by the horns, like let's do this, you know, let's do this. And it's really wonderful to have you. And I love that you say too about like just being authentic, like like oh my gosh, absolutely, like swear if you're gonna swear, and yeah, do what you got to do.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, and it
Me.
yeah, exactly. And I love that you said that you're practicing on being you, like that's what you're practicing.
I really, honestly, because I think I've ran from that, you know, forever, just growing up, you know, just all the different programmings. So yeah, no, this is a great place to just be me. Yee.
Hey, awesome. We like it when you're you. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. Woohoo. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jeffy. That's so cool. How about Kim? What's up, Kimmy Kims? What's up, Kim?
Without repeating what everybody else said, I obviously went in for a reading with you as well in about August as well, with just funny that Mindy was about the same time. I think it was September, August or September. And you had mentioned VIP to me, and I was like, oh God, I just am so busy. You know, I'm a teacher. I just not ready. And I felt like at some point in like, I was feeling very buried with the spiritual stuff going on with me. I was just like, no, maybe this is what I need. And I believe that was probably the best thing that I ever did, because I got to practice what, like when the VIPs post something, you get to practice those skills that those medium skills that you're, you know, kind of fine tuning. And I also enjoyed the camaraderie and feeling like I'm a part of a group that understands me, because God, I'm a school teacher. I don't think anybody understands me.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, I think too, the other thing that I really love about VIP and that I kind of attracted me to it too, you had said something and you said that there were some courses. So I also decided that I thought, well, there's some of these courses that may really benefit me, you know, since I am getting downloads at night and I am, you know, having some of this stuff happen to me. So, yeah, that was really super beneficial too. Just looking through the courses, going through, you know, doing inner child work. Oh my gosh. Boom. Right. And so, you know, I think the courses and then also the community building part of VIP is super important.
Thanks for bringing that forward. Yeah. And yeah, just like you said, the community. And it's funny hearing that kind of over and over, just because I feel like, yeah, again, it's almost just like we can be ourselves, and I feel like some of us, I mean, hopefully, I mean, I feel this way, that I think people think I'm weird. I'm just saying. But I get a sense, that I'm like, I can be weird with you guys,
I have an excuse because I'm the weird art teacher. So it
See, there
doesn't
you
matter.
go.
I can be
There you
weird
go.
whenever I want. They're just gonna blame it on the art teacher.
I love that. Well, I just feel like we can be whoever we are, and that's really cool. And I appreciate you saying that about the courses too, because my lights just flickered. But just with the courses, because I think you had shared, gosh, I don't know where you shared it, but it was almost just like I heard you say, gosh, what really got me popping was joining VIP. Like that's what got me on my path to be able to learn my skills and that type of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like you're empowered to practice and then also to communicate about it. And so it's super empowering that you feel comfortable enough to just say, hey, this is what's going on with me. Has anybody else had experiences with this? And I mean, everybody's had their own experiences and their own trip, but I mean, I guess it's empowering to someone who's new, who's just awakened. I'm very new to the awakening part. And to have these gifts come in and then be able to be empowered to practice.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like too, like empowered to practice, and then just also, having the support of those around you. Like, oh yeah, I got that too. Or this is what I was thinking, or,
Right.
So that's really cool.
And that validation too, like you're never wrong. You're never, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. So it's always like, well, this is what I've experienced, but it might be different from your experience. I love that part too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, being able to witness how two people are right, and they're right in different ways, which is really cool. Oh, Kim, thank you. Yeehaw. Awesome. And then Joe like stumbled in from Australia thinking she was on a different call. And when I was like, hey girl, come on in.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, so sorry I had to duck off before, but it's brand new morning and I'm drinking my coffee and I'm like, I need another one, but whatever, I'm still going. But I had to go feed my chooks because they were going crazy, and I knew once it started, look, I got a feather.
Oh, beautiful.
Talk about, and then the funniest thing is, because I'm running around with the phone, but because I'm still listening while I'm feeding my chooks, and all I could hear is the signs. Someone was talking about the signs. I think it was Minji. I was like, oh, I got a sign. One of my little black chooks. Anyway, yes, thank you for putting up with me having just woken. I often, and I guess that's the other thing. It's the synchronicity that occurs with this group is quite crazy for me. For example, I got on, I think 2 days ago, and I'd slept in. I can't remember. Yesterday, it was yesterday, wasn't it, Heather? I slept in, and I think I must have. I've turned it on, and the first thing I see is you, and I'm like, oh, I've started live, and then I had no idea what time it was, and it turned out I was like the last person.
That happened, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because it was me and Megan. Is it Megan?
Yeah,
I had just woken up because we're on the other side of the planet. So I was like, timing, and that kind of stuff happens all the time. And what drew me to, I had met you, Heather, a few years ago, maybe. Not in person, but my family live in America, hence the connection. And I had found out about yourself and heightened your spiritual connection through Andy Philibert, Andy Mashburn. And she, because I had met her when I was redoing, because I've been a Reiki master for 30 odd years, but I was redoing my Reiki master, and I met her in a group there. And then I was in heightened your spiritual connection for I think a year or so. And then I did the Holy Fire Reiki course with you. You remember that? For me, it was something like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, or maybe 3. I remember having to wake up for it, and I was quite the same. But it was, I did it, and it was fabulous. And I think that sense of, I found in you, because I've met a lot of healers and and things, but I found, I guess, a softness, a warmth, a compassion, and caring that is beyond, really, other than my original Reiki masters, beyond anyone I've met. And that is, I think, probably after that I joined. I'm not sure. After that, I joined you, but I think it was more even, this is kind of deeply personal, but I was having struggles because I have had mediumship all my life, but it was really coming to the fore as my best friend in America, because I used to go to school there, got diagnosed with a brain tumor. And as she, it ebbed from life, and this was, she was supposed to, so I said Reiki, obviously, and went back a few times to see her every year. She was given 6 to 8 months, but she lived for nearly 3 years. And in fact, next week is the anniversary of her death. But what I found, because as she ebbed from life, our connection grew stronger, especially because all the COVID stuff, and I couldn't get over there, that last bit. But I found that our group really helped me, because it was a difficult time for me to deal with. I'm tearing up now, but I found that the group helped me heighten the spiritual connection. I joined VIP to try and increase my ability to connect, not only with her, but with her other, loved ones that were coming to me in spirit form, because I think that my entire spirit team was just trying to support me through that, because it was a difficult time. But more so, this team got me through that. And I really am going to cry now, because I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Really, it was that support that made me feel safe, and also be able to talk to someone about the fact that I could connect with her was gold. Here in Australia, I hadn't even told, my immediate family and close, well, not even my immediate friends knew I was a Reiki master, because it's kind of not talked about. I live in a kind of small country town, and you don't talk about these things, So it was brilliant to have a group that I could talk about it, to do these courses that, I haven't done hardly any, but I do bits and bobs, and we do all that practice in VIP as well. In fact, we bounce off each other. Do you know Kimmy Kim? It's the first time I've seen your face. I nearly cried when I saw it, when you said Kimmy Kim. I'm like, oh, I get to see these people, because we're often not on Zoom, we're on like a live. And for me, that's great, because it is when I look like this, 1 minute out of bed, and because of the time frame difference. But I feel like I already know these girls, whether I energetically see them or not, because I energetically know them. And it's a family and a community that draws me to VIP, and what made me join, and what keeps me in, because I couldn't imagine life without that support, to be perfectly honest, because it's every step of my growth. You've all been there, and I've gone to you, Heather, when I've needed it, in terms of one-on-one spiritual advice or courses or what have you. And I think if there's testament to anything, it's the fact that I'm 10,000 miles away, and I'm still coming. And I've invited other people to the group as well, like MJ and what have you. And I've tried to, have my people that know or are coming to me now, because I'm becoming more open about my skills and what have you. I've been inviting, I don't know, one of my friends have just recently invited to join. And that's fabulous, because then I'm like, here's the comfort community. It's not, you don't have to just rely on me in this little town. There is everyone we can join with. And I think that community is the biggest thing, because we're in a safe space, and it's a safe space where you can explore everything, your gifts, your talents, and what you are as a spiritual being, claircognizant, whatever, it doesn't matter. You find out as you go along, and you're guided and helped by you, Heather, every step of the way. And that is, I guess, ultimately what makes me want to be in VIP. And I think what I feel is why I suggest to people to get on board, because you don't get that necessarily day-to-day life. And I think it's really important to help those skills develop.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne.
You're
You guys are
welcome.
all gonna make me cry.
Look, we're making magic happen. See?
But we're making magic happen. So
That's what my cup says. We're making magic
making
happen.
magic happen. That's
Although it's probably
perfect. That's perfect. I love
Anyway,
it.
that's me. Thank you
Well, and I
for my
love this
people.
too. Yeah, I love this. Thank you, Joe. That's beautiful. I just love, and I mean, all of you have kind of attested to the community, and I guess I don't know why I'm like pinching myself because this is something that I've always wanted, just feeling so alone with my gifts and, I'm different and that kind of thing. And now it's almost just like now we have this community of people that we're not necessarily different, like we're all the same, and we are able to experience each other and be able to support each other and be able to learn our gifts together, be able to share our gifts, so it's just that community. I loved hearing that. I love hearing that. And it's funny. So what Joe is talking about, for those of you who are not in VIP, so on Wednesdays we have insights night. And so like, it's kind of a party. And so like, I'm like, hey, Kim, what's up, Mindy? Mindy LaHoo, what's going on, Mindy? Danielle,
Oh,
Jojo.
I feel
so
like I know
anyway.
you all anyway.
I
This
know,
is
it's
the
so
whole
funny.
point.
Like, this is the first time some of you have seen each other, like,
Yeah, and I'm
live.
horrified.
I know, Joe comes on and she's like, I just woke up. We're like, oh, come with the live with us, please. That'd be great. But I know she's like, okay, but I love this. And thank you everybody for sharing and just for being here, just for being your authentic selves and for being able to step forward on your path. And so, with this too, we just got done with the Soul Essence course as well. So that's kind of another opportunity to get on Zoom. And then we have the practice and check-in with Veronica and a couple of spirit circles with Kirsty. But I would love to hear too, like kind of wherever this conversation is going to go. I know that Joe was kind of talking about synchronicities, how she came on last night our last night for the live. And it was really funny because I was like, you're first, Joe, because you're last. She came on right when I was about to close the doors, So I love
I
that.
did.
So, I know, it's so funny. But I feel like synchronicities have brought us here,
Yes.
it's like these different things, like connecting the dots, like somehow we ended up here, and I love that. And so some of us had talked a little bit about spiritual awakenings, so before we came on, but just what your spiritual awakening was like. And I know some of us were talking about, like, some people would resonate with me, some people would resonate with somebody else, and so would love to share. We don't have to necessarily go in order, but just what comes through. And my own spiritual awakening, like, I had gifts as a child, but I didn't know what they were, and so I kind of turned them off. And then in my late teens, early 20s, I had a few like tragic events that happened. Lost a cousin in a horrific car accident, had my first heartbreak, and so then opened up to my spirituality. So definitely kind of the dark night of the soul, and after that I just wanted more and more and more and more and more. So that's kind of the long and short of my spiritual awakening. But I'd love to hear if anybody feels called to share, like, this was my spiritual awakening. Feel free, jump in.
I can go if you want.
Okay, I saw Danielle or Kim. Yeah.
Oh,
You
go
first?
Danielle if you want.
Nope.
I
go
can't
right
see
ahead. Well, screen share. Go
You
ahead.
can go first.
Okay, fine. I'll go then. I feel like, everybody has an individual experience, obviously, and, but I find the more people that I meet, since finding, like, when they say, like, find your tribe, kind of deal. I feel like this is like, I thought I had found my tribe like so many times. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not it, because I just outgrew you. And then, oh, no, you're not you're not it. You're not it. This is legit the tribe, like, because I have never had family truly. A lot of my tragedies are inflicted by family, and the loss of family. And, for me, the realization and the acceptance that for me to follow my soul's path and my gifts and my, purpose on this earth was to lose my children, not once, but twice. And so just series after series after series after series of just constant awfulness and then to find a group of people that welcome you with open arms and tell you it's okay, but not in a way that a therapist will, by shoving pills down your throat. And offering other types of solutions and offering their insights and their, this and that. And, like Kim had said, the non-judgment of it all, that I found to be huge, because I'm very critical of my own gifts and my own expansion of them. And so even doing things like practices and whatnot, where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to say anything because I might not be right, but no one cares if I'm right or not. It's the participation that matters. And so that, to me, I found has been one of like the top things on my list of the things that I list on my gratitude list, is, connecting with all of you. And because my spiritual awakening has been a very lonely one, and I've had to walk it alone for many, many, many years. And to be able to finally be in a place where I understand that I don't have to sacrifice my own progress and my own identity for the sake of community has been one of the greatest gifts that I could receive, because that's making me a better person to my clients. That's making me a better friend to my friends. It's making me a better mother to my children who are not with me all of the time. So those types of things that I'm learning are helping me apply it to my life, and then brings joy into all of the different compartments of my life, not just spirituality. And in a sense where my drive is, not necessarily to keep the things separate, but to fully integrate all of it. With the coursework, I was doing courses earlier today, and one of the things in your spiritual inventory that Dave had created, where it was, what do you do to keep your spiritual life and your work life separate? And I'm like, nothing, I'm integrating it. I want all of it to fold together, because nothing makes me happier than to do what I do for work, and also my passion for my spiritual side. And if I can have those two things be one and the same always and forever for the rest of my life, I don't really know how I could be any happier. So, feeling what true joy feels like, that is a new feeling for me. So, that's huge for me.
That's incredible. I can feel that, Danielle. That's incredible.
Mhm.
Thank you. That's absolutely beautiful. Mwah, right back at you. And I felt it for all of us. I just feel like it is that community and being able to share yourself. And I love that you're threading it together, right? You're threading it together. Like, this is it. This is your passion. This is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
The wheels are turning. I've already started making a list. I'm like, I have all these questions I got to ask you, because I have all these things I want to do. And I'm like, my wheels are turning so fast. I literally have a headache every single day.
Let's see if we can curb the headache. Keep the ideas flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, though. And it is, that's hard. It's with loss that we, may open up. And it's interesting that you share that too. I have my own story, a lot of family stuff too, like a lot of developmental trauma. And it's just really interesting with hearing you and others, like, it's a family. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is, and we can truly create our family like we have, so that's beautiful, Danielle. Thank you. That's awesome. It's awesome.
Next, Kim.
I know. Kim.
So I met a man who was a soulmate about 2 years ago, and it started the whole process of this awakening. And I decided I don't want to spend the rest of my life with the partner that I had. So I got a divorce, and then all of the psychic stuff started for me. I do believe that when I was 16, I had an experience externally with a ghost. I heard it externally. So freaked out that I'd had stuff happen in the house that we were living into, but I was so terrified at that point in 16, I kind of shut everything off. Things started happening. I went through the dark night of the soul, and I also had some medical stuff going on as well. So I was anemic. So I wasn't sleeping. I was journaling. I was going through a divorce. And then I also was hearing in the lower astral, because I'm an astral traveler, some external things as well, ghosts, something. Not nice. They were not nice. So very demeaning. So I had a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And I feel like once I got through that, and I did see a psychic too, so she kind of helped me on the right path. And I feel like once I got through that, I feel like I could make it through anything. And then once I found this group, I feel like my gifts really have it's almost like spirit was like, woo, you found your people. Like, we need to like give you some more information. And so then Heather asked me in a reading, what are you gonna do with your gifts? Like, how are you gonna give back? And I was like, essentially like thinking that same thing at some point. I was like, well, you know, I have a gift. Like, what am I gonna do with this? And so it sort of sparked, all of a sudden it came to me very quickly that I was gonna do something on dreams. And so because I'm such a prolific dreamer, and they give me messages through dreams. And so I guess that's part of my spiritual awakening. And in a nutshell, it did spur from tragedy, and it wasn't very fun. I will tell you that. Sometimes it's really hard, and digging out your soul is really hard. And just be very, very gracious with yourself. And I think that's part of what this group brings to, is like that constant reminder to be very kind to yourself. Like, you don't need to beat yourself up over, you know, whatever, a little mistake or whatever. I think I had an incident that happened at work in the fall, and I just let it go. I was just like, I don't give a shit what people think about me. I'm just gonna let it go. You know? So
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
I love
I don't
it.
think I have anything else to add unless you have questions.
Woo, woo.
Questions, I'm good.
Yeah, let's see. Spirit got some more questions for her. Yeah, no, that's great, Kim. I love that you share that. And it's interesting too, like with loss, how much more gain you get, right? Like as you're letting go, or as you're, realizing this isn't what I need to do for my life, how much more gets to come in, the abundance that gets to come in, and it's been really neat, Kim, watching your journey of being able to know your gifts and being able to discern your gifts, be in control of your gifts, and like what's coming out of that. And yeah, it's pretty amazing to listen to some of your dreams, like the prolific dreams, and then you're clairaudient too. Like it's like you're like, and then they said this, and then they said this, and then they said this, so there's you got a
But
lot.
you know how fast my guides come in.
I know,
Fast and furious, and I'm like, can you slow down a little bit for me, because I'm new at this. Like, this is super new. Like, this just started in like October.
What are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Oh, Kim, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Aw. Anybody else want to share their spiritual awakening or other things coming through?
I can go.
Mindy?
Yeah, sure. So mine was not quite as bold, I guess, if that's the right word. All of a sudden, mine, I think, started just a lot of noise. I think it was COVID, the election. My dad was really sick. And it was just all the negativity, just all that noise is all I can say. And so I just had this, something's got to change. Of like, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I used to listen to a lot of true crime. And I was like, I can't even take any of that stuff anymore. And so I just picked A New Earth with Eckhart Tolle and Oprah. And I mean, it was like within the first minute, I just was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is just where I'm at. This is what needs to happen. And I was just, it was just a hunger for more and more and more. And I listened to that twice. I read the book twice. I reread his other book. I found Deepak Chopra meditations. I literally was walking, like I could not wait to get out in nature and walk and listen to this stuff. And I would sit, I craved being by myself. I craved peace, quiet. And if you knew me before, not me. Like, who wants to get together? Let's plan a night out. Who's coming over? You know, just let's have a girls' weekend, which I do still love that. But it's just like with different, maybe set of, not a different set, but a smaller group, maybe like-minded. Um, and it just, everything just kept unfolding, unfolding, unfolding. And I just became the shedding of like ego, the attachment to ego, detachment, realizing how much stuck in that I was. And it just was, I just had so much tension between like, so someone gave me Conversations with God. You guys all know I brag about this all the time. It literally like changed. I mean, my life was already changing, but those series have just changed my life, and or helped me reconnect, I think, with who I really felt I was, but I never really gave a lot of thought to. And because I just kind of went along with like what was normal and what was expected, and not that I didn't have a content or happy life by any means, but it just, these things resonated with me on such a deep level. But yet here's my conditioned brain, and then this other one, it was like, yeah, like I just couldn't, like I would just sit and like I can't, it would just be this dissonance in my brain, and then I'd get through that, and then I'd go to the next thing. And anyway, it was just this hunger. And I was just coming more into, for me, like when I realized, when people used to, people would say, what do you think your life's purpose is? Or what do you think? And I was never like, I want this career, I want to accomplish all of these things. Every single time someone asked me that, I would say, I think just to love people. And now that I'm in this state, or being awakening, it's like there couldn't be a truer, like I knew, but I didn't know that I knew, I think. And I've always been the caretaker. I've always been, go home and take care of my parent, or I go visit somebody in the hospital, sit with them every night, hold their hand when they're sick, take them the meals, organize stuff for people. And now I just, like, especially now, like with the Reiki, it's just like, this is just like so powerful. And like, it's about loving people, it's about this non-judgment, like in the group, it's so refreshing. And just yeah, it's just enlightening, it's encouraging, it's a safe place. And um I don't know, it's just like I feel like I'm home, and I'm slowly getting like more less fear, but there's definitely that. It's, like I said, it's been scary, it's been lonely, it's been sad, it's been, just people, who am I going to be to people that maybe I don't want to hang out with this certain group anymore because I don't resonate with that anymore. And but then what are they going to think of me? And then they're going to think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know. You guys know,
Yeah.
it's just like this
Yeah, for
gamut of
sure.
emotions. And yeah, the healing definitely is a big one. And going through this, it, like, looking back, connecting the dots, absolutely divine timing for what was coming. Very, very challenging year, um, with a lot of things. And it was like every time I practiced, and I don't want to say mastered a new skill, something else would happen. And I would be like, yep. And that's what I just got done working on. So thank you, Spirit, for that. And then I'd go through that, and then I'd go to the next thing, and I'd be working on that. And then the next thing would happen. And I'm like, okay, this is why this is happening now. So it was all perfect, just absolutely perfect timing for all of these things to line up. So
It's amazing.
I don't
It's
know.
amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And it's neat too, because I don't know if anybody else is feeling this as Mindy's talking, but just like, each new thing she picked up, there was just such a strong pull and alignment. And I wasn't necessarily getting chills, but I was just like, and that was a connection, and that was a connection. I could just feel you shifting, as you were sharing this. And so beautiful. Anybody else moved when she said my purpose in life is to love people?
Oh,
I was
my
like,
heart was like,
Yeah.
I know, it's so beautiful.
And I always
found
doubted,
home.
like, well,
I found home.
God, is that just because I can't think of anything else? Like, you hear people like all these career goals, and that's fine for them. I just was like, "God, I don't have anything good." Like, now I'm like, what am I saying? Like, that is the goal. Like,
Yes.
even today, I'm praying for Putin, and I'm like,
Yeah.
my brothers are like, I'm not praying for, and they're good Christian people, my family, and I'm like, but he's the one who needs it the most. Like, we need to, like, without divine intervention with him, nothing's going to change. And no, it's not easy to pray for people who we feel are evil or whatever, but those are the people we need to heal. And I mean, everyone needs love, but you know what I mean? So I just feel like, I don't know, I've always had so much compassion for people who do terrible things, and I've always kind of gotten criticized for that. And it's just where I don't know, it's just what
I
I've
love
always
it.
had.
That's that
going.
love. That's that love. That's that love. It's amazing. I think Danielle too said like, I feel home. That was
You
another good
feel what?
one. I feel home. I think it was what Danielle
Oh
picked up
yeah,
on. Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Oh,
want to also, I also want to acknowledge the fact that she was saying it was like a progression, and I love how she walked through the progression part. And I think all of us have gone through that, and I think that's part of the spiritual awakening, that
Yeah.
progression part. And it does not happen fast. I mean, if you want it to happen fast, oh boy, spirit will slow it down for you. Maybe you want to work as a devil's advocate or something like that. But what I'm saying is she just acknowledged the fact that it happened super slowly, and it was a progression. And I think if people are watching this, know that it's not like overnight by any means.
Never
you're
done.
still evolving. What?
Never done.
Never
Yeah.
done. Nope,
Mhm.
never
Just
done.
when you
So
master
evolving.
the one thing, the next thing comes in.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. We're gonna start wrapping up. I'm curious if Jeffy or Joanne have anything to add. I'm just curious.
I'll just speak a little because I did travel to another country. I went to India and did an ashram and had a guru, and it was super cool. But I like what you just said, Kim, because it really is an unfolding, and it's one step at a time. And then it might feel like it's stagnant, but I don't know that it's necessarily stagnant. I think it's an integration time. And all of a sudden you can't get enough of spiritual readings, books, yada yada, and then all of a sudden, give me a novel. I just want to read a novel. I want to watch Netflix. You have to kind of walk away. But I don't know that it's it's the mind, the ego that says you walked away. I think that's just this integration, because next thing you know, in divine timing, the next thing comes along and to push or to help guide you forward into the next step of your personal awakening. And it's a flowering. So we have to unfold, we have to unlearn all these things that we've learned that aren't even true. So we kind of have to start checking them out of the basket. And I can tell you the worst, or not worst, but one of the most challenging things I've ever said is, oh, bring it on. No, learn. Don't ever ask spirit, bring it on, I'm ready, because next thing you know, and a strange dad that you don't even know, haven't seen for 20 years, living in your house. And then you're in the dark night of the soul because you've got all these old hurts that have to, heal in order to be that loving being with him, somebody. That was just an experience I got to have. And it was really, really beautiful. But I call that one of my dark nights of the soul, because I'd call my sister and be just pissed off, and then I was just talking about how he came over yesterday, and I bared my soul to him because I had such a difficult weekend, and he just totally held space for me. And all of a sudden, it was as if he was channeling the most beautiful words. And I thought, wow, a year ago, I kind of hated you. And now today, you're my best friend ever. We're BFFs. I just love how spirit works. But I do like that it is a step at a time, because our little self wants it to go really fast and be done and over. And now we've had a completion. There's no completion. It's continual. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that forward. And, just like Mindy said too, like it's not ever done, and that there might be another wave of some sort for us to be able to get to know ourselves better, for us to open up our hearts more. And just like you said too, it's an unfolding, it's a progression. It's, and it's interesting. I'll share this sometimes with my Reiki clients, that I opened up to my, spirituality like 22 years ago, that type of thing. But it's just really funny because at the beginning, like back then, nobody said like chakras. And so I'd be like, have you heard of the like I just wouldn't say it, right? And then look at this evolution, like 20 some years later, people are talking about chakras up and down the block. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
But it is about that evolution, right? It's about that evolution. Yeah. Joe, did you want to share?
Yeah, I think the only thing I really can add to all of that is in terms of my spiritual awakening, it did happen, the same thing, kind of unfolding, but came strong for, at certain time periods. But I had started seeing spirit when I was a child, which I didn't realize was spirit, because to me it was real, and it was my grandfather right there, Poppy. And I learned later, and that kind of was shut down for me, because my mum was like, there's not Poppy. Poppy died before I was pregnant with you. And I'm like, well, he's right in the back room. And then all my mum did was shut me down, and because I used to go play with him all the time, and he'd say to me, it's time for you to go back now. And I'm like, oh, I'm playing. He's like, no, you need to go back. So he would know when everyone was going to come and get me. And so that was when I was very young. And then I guess in terms of like as I grew older, I was lucky, well, in Louisiana, which is where I was, very much around kind of the voodoo and all kinds of things, and ghosts and spirits are everywhere. And I had quite a few experiences there, just connections with different spirit and things happen and what have you, and met certain people. I met a girl in my life, and we used to astral travel and do all these things. And she'd be like, why can you do it like that? When I have to practice. And I'm like, I don't know. I just can. So, I didn't know. I just was doing things, and things would add on, and I'd do more things and what have you. And I guess as I came, my point is, my awakening came to me when I was ready to have it. People just came into my life that I was meant to meet. And I think that one of the best things I ever did and have done continually is just keep myself open for those new experiences and to allow them to occur. For example, like, doing the Holy Fire Reiki. I mean, I just did that. I just like, my friend went, do you want to do it? It's like on Saturday. And I'm like, I'm going to have to be like working till midnight. Then I'm going to have to go to sleep for an hour. And then I'm going to have to wake up and go to work the next day. But damn it, yeah, I'm in, because I felt it. I went, yeah, I felt that, so I did it, and kind of everyone's going, you're a bit crazy. I'm like, not really, just doing what's being called to be done. And I think that's the most important thing to with this, as you awaken more and more, and as your skills progress, it's about being open to the synchronicities, and be open to the people and things that come into your life that you resonate with, because your body is, and your mind and your spirit is vibrating higher than your head is, So sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith and know that that's the right thing for you, because you've got to know that you're divinely protected, and you'll always be held, there'll be space held for you by the universe to make sure you're on the right path. I feel that 100%. And if you're not on the right path, you kind of know it. You know it anyway. So I think the most important thing for my awakening is to go with it, like go with the flow and go, oh, okay, And okay, this is for me. And where can I find that? And I think this is where it boils down to, where can I find those people that are around me that I can talk to, that support me in my growth? Because spiritually, you kind of do need some support, and you do have all your spirit guides and what have you, your love, ancestors of past that are here with you. But more importantly, I think what has helped me progress most is the fact that I can talk about it with you all. B, I can take these all courses that help to whatever is happening for me at the time. I can like work a bit on that, if it's my mediumship or if it's my just anything, whatever it is that you're doing, cartomancy. And that's one of the things where I found that I was really becoming spiritual, is because I used to always do my tarot cards or what have you, and more and more I would go, that's not the right message. No, that book, that's wrong. Like, no, I'm feeling this. And I guess that's trust in your own, because sometimes you go, no, I'm just feeling like that's me and not you. Sometimes you have to do that and really go, oh no, I think I pulled that for me. Like, no, because they're like, you just got to understand and trust that you know best. And I guess to go with that flow of your awakening, and go with the people who are there to nurture you with that, and go, you're right. Like, so I think it was you, Heather, that first said, yeah, you're right, you got to trust that. That's a message from spirit that I'm getting, and I just get straight messages now. So I just, the shit that comes out of my mouth, I just go, I'm just hearing this, like a friend. Okay, so like a friend died, like a friend, it was very tragic. A young friend died, and he came to me and he had a message. I mean, this was within a few hours. He came to me and he had a message, and I didn't even know he had died. So I want you to go to Jack, another friend, Jack, and tell him this. And I was like, Jack doesn't even know. I'm like, well, my battery's getting low, so I hope you can still hear me. They don't even know. It was like my boss's husband. I had never even said I was a psychic, right, or a medium or any of this stuff. So I'm like, okay, I just have to trust. So I tried so hard. How could I go and do this? And I did. And you know what? At the funeral, like a few days or a week later, he just comes up to me and he's just like, first all he said was thank you. And then he came up to me and he's just like, I can't even say how much that put my mind at ease, because he had helped to try to resuscitate him. And it was clearly, I mean, I said, I don't even know what this message is, because there was a couple of things in it. Obviously, first was, it's not your fault. But Jack was like, I knew exactly what you were talking about. That was very personal. And so sometimes you just got to be the no filter. You can't filter it. You just got to say it. Yeah, and I think that's what you taught me to do. And I think the more you open, then he's sitting on the coffin at the funeral and he's swinging his legs and he's looking around. He's having a great old time, and I'm like, oh, that my heart is filled, by that. But more so I could tell, but then he's like, I want you to go do this, go give that person a hug right now. And I did what he wanted me to do in the wake, the after, not during the thing, because that's a bit, I said, well, I will, but not right now. Okay, can you just hold that? But I feel like if I wasn't as open to, and I hadn't been as supported as I was in my awakening, I would never have the guts in my life to do that, because I've been to many funerals and I've had these messages and I've never had the guts to go and actually say, right, and people. So that's, the support and the guidance that I get from everyone is imperative in my spiritual awakening. And that's all I can say, really.
My favorite line, the shit that comes out of your mouth. That's my favorite line.
Shit that comes out. I mean, well, it's not me. It's actually not me. I'm channeling it.
Isn't that funny?
But I just go, what?
I love it. And I love too what you said too. Like you're guided, and you're going to be caught, and your essence is vibrating higher than your mind. That's huge, and so just witnessing that, and that we're, almost like heeding the call, but we need that support. We need that, to trust ourselves and in that type of thing. So, oh my gosh, ladies. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for, just gifting our audience with your message and with being able to share with everybody your journey and your time and your energy. And I'm excited for, our next live and talk to Kimmy Kim and Mindy Lou Who and Jeffy and Danielle and JoJo. And so it's good times in VIP. We'd love to have you. And for those of you who are here, currently February of 2022, there's a discount to join us. Love VIP is the discount to join us. So we'd love to have you. Heart, love. Yay. So let me just go ahead and wrap us up in prayer. Mwah. Father, Mother God, thank you so much for allowing for these beautiful souls before me and my path to cross. Please allow each and every one of them to continue excelling in their gifts. Allow them to be able to trust themselves. Allow them to be able to have confidence in themselves. Allow them to be able to have clarity, and allow them to be able to know that they will continue to align to their life path, and allow them to be able to share their gifts openly, and allow them to be able to be truly who they are. We ask all this in the highest light and love and blessings of all. Amen. Yay. Yes, thank you, ladies. Awesome. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.